Learning a jazz standard in another key is the topic for today's lesson, and I'm going to show you a couple ways we can approach doing this. Now, if you only ever play the standards you know in the same key, in one key, you're really missing a massive opportunity to really develop your understanding of harmony and the songs you know. Some might see this as an unnecessary step, and I think they're really missing out on a valuable learning opportunity, and also something that might also be a requirement of you when you're playing with other people. So let's take a song, have a look at the chords, and then try and move it to another key. I think Autumn Leaves is a great tune to try and do this with. Why? Because, well, it's a song us guitar players like to play in the key of E minor, but the majority of other instruments don't play it in that key. They play it in G minor, and I can guarantee if you went to play it with a pianist or, I don't know, a saxophonist, you probably go, oh, I don't do it in E minor, can we do it in G minor? So let's see how we can shift it from E minor to G minor. We'll just look at the A section, and you can use these strategies to help you work out the B section for yourself. So here's bars 1 to 8 in the key of E minor. So we'd have A minor 7 to D7, G major 7 to C major 7, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, B7 to E minor, or E minor 7. If we want to move to G minor, a really simple way would be just to think, well, if we're going to move from E minor to G minor, how far away is E to G? There's E, so we've got to go one semitone F, another semitone, so that's a tone so far, to F sharp, and then to G, so it's a tone and a half, or 3 frets up, if you like. So I could just take that first chord, A minor 7, and move it up 3, 1, 2, 3, which gives me C minor. So that would give me A minor becoming C minor 7, D7, move it up by 3, 1, 2, 3, F7. So then I'd have C minor 7, F7. I need to take G major 7, move it up by 3, B flat major 7. Now if I did it with the rest of it, we'd be able to work it out. We'd have C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7. Then we've got to move C up 3, which would be C, C sharp D, E flat. Then we've got to move F sharp minor 7 flat up 3, so that'd be G, G sharp A, so A minor 7 flat 5. Then we've got to move B7 up 3, so C, C sharp D. Then we've got to move E minor up 3, so F, F sharp G, G minor. So all I'm doing is then just counting up, moving each one. But that's not a great way to do it, but it does work. So it gives us C minor, F7, B flat, major 7, E flat, major 7, A minor 7 flat 5, D7 to G minor. Now that's easy when you're just moving up 3 or so, but if we change the key further away from E, that might get difficult. Rather than using chord shapes and patterns and things to move it around, it's better to do it from a position of understanding the original key and the harmony, and then learning how you can find that same harmony in other keys. So let's take the key of E minor. What chords would we get in that key? So we'd have E minor, or E minor 7 is chord 1, F sharp minor 7 flat 5 is chord 2, G major 7 chord 3, A minor 7 chord 4, B minor 7, although it's probably going to change to B7, is chord 5, C major is chord 6, and D7 is chord 7. And that's the chords in the key of E minor. But if you listen to the progression in the original key, it feels like there's two things going on to me. There's this bit. I'd call that the first kind of set of movements, if you like. And that doesn't sound like E minor there. It doesn't sound like E minor until we get here, I don't think. And it's all about getting there. And that's definitely the most important chord in the progression where we want to finish and get to. But this first bit, for me, is really in the relative major of G major, and then so we've got 2, A minor 7, D7 chord 5, G major 7 chord 1, C major 7 chord 4, and then this we're moving back to the relative minor, so F sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord 2, B7 chord 5 into chord 1, E minor 7. Now if we go back to the key of G minor, now I've got 2 tables here to help with this, and I'll put them both on the screen. Here's one, and you can download these for free, link in the description. The first one here is the harmonized major scale. So if you look there, there's the key of G major, where we took that, the first bit of Autumn Leaves in E minor from. And we've got the other keys on there too. Great for reference, and then here's the equivalent for minor as well. Songs like to move between relative major and relative minor. The circle of fifths is the easiest place to pick up that, and I've made videos on that previously before. I'll include those in the description, but just looking at a circle of fifths here, you can easily see the pairs. So there's G and E minor, G minor and B flat major are the paired keys there. So when we were doing it in G minor, it was really 2, C minor 7, 5, and that's F7, chord 1, B flat major 7, chord 4, E flat major 7, then moving to that the minor key related, A minor 7 flat 5, chord 2, D7 chord 5, resting on chord 1, G minor 7. Now, how do you learn all of this information, all of the chords in every key? I think it comes from playing songs from a perspective, or from a point of view of trying to understand them and place the chords. That understanding comes from not only knowing about like the Roman numeral analysis and stuff like that, but also hearing these things. It can't just be theory that sits in your head. It has to be, you can hear where that's going and the feeling of that chord. And it gets into stuff like chord function. Things like, if you've not heard about like things like tonic chords, subdominant chords, dominant chords, they're types of things that are worth learning about, providing you make the link to the sound and don't just understand the theory of it. Let's say we wanted to play Autumn Leaves in A minor. Let's refer to our minor system. Here's A minor, so we need the 2, 5, 1 for the end bit. So there's B minor 7 flat 5, E7, A minor, that's going to be our end bit. And for the first bit, we need the 2, 5, 1, 4 from the relative major, which would be C major, which would give us D minor 7 chord 2, G7 chord 5, C major 7 chord 1, F major 7 chord 4. Then we go to A minor, 2, 5, 1. Now, obviously that way of just moving around that we did at the start does work as well. You can move things around, but then, you know, that would change quite away from where we started. Instead of going, I was all the way up here. Was actually using the same shapes, but you know, you might want to change it to a key where that's not practical, so I think that method doesn't always work. There are also apps which can help you with this. The iReal Pro practice app, which, you know, has some use, it has its failings definitely, but it's got some use for this, and you can, at the click of your finger, you can change the key of a song if you need to do something quickly. But I think it's a skill to work on. I think it's important to know when you're learning songs what keys people like to play it in, and don't be afraid of trying it in a different key. So you know, it's a way really to get to know a song that bit better. And obviously doing the melody in another key is a whole different ball game too. I do it from a perspective of, I know that stuff about the different keys, and you know, what chords are in major keys and the different minor keys, and how they work together. The other thing that helps really is knowing things like major and minor 2-5-1s well, and knowing, say for instance, that C minor 7, F7, B flat 7 is a 2-5-1 in B flat major, and knowing that A minor 7 flat 5, D7, G minor is a minor 2-5-1 from G minor. That's just useful stuff to know. There's some theory which I think you just have to know, but like I said earlier, you have to know the sound of it also. Further points of learning for you from this. We've not looked at the B section, see if you can work that out in the key of G minor, and then I'm sure you could find a chart to check it online for the rest of the chords. You know, use a mixture of your ear and maybe my tables to help you try and work things out. It gets harder, of course, when a song moves around more, say, than Autumn Leaves. If you pick something like, I don't know, All the Things You Are to change key, that's going to be quite a mammoth task. So pick easy tunes that you already know quite well. We haven't touched melody. Obviously, that's a whole different topic. Maybe I'll cover that in another video. But if you're going to make the effort to learn the chords in another key, you want to get the melody too. And this is where some real pitfalls of guitar shapes really just start to hit us. Like, if you play a melody just from the perspective of it's a shape and pure muscle memory, then you want to change key. It's when you really need to actually tap into not muscle memory but intervals and sound much more than remembered finger positions. Now, you might not be ready for all of this, so don't be annoyed with yourself if you find this a bit heavy going this kind of topic. If that's the case, then a couple of videos that might help you get to the point where you can cope with this sort of information and understanding it is my video on can you place chords, and also just learning your 2-5-1s in every key. That is just such a basic fundamental to have down. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, anything you need me to clarify, then you leave a question below. Don't forget to get the resources PDF link in the description. Jazz guitar lessons every Wednesday and Saturday. Till next time, you take care.